Erica Lorraine Spencer here. This is the P.O.C. pattern of conduct, the ongoing real-time documentation of what is the criminal pattern of conduct of federal stalking in violation of 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsection 1 and subsection 2. This is the pattern of conduct underway by a public entity, that is the state of California, that is engaging in federal stalking in concert with the people of the state of California. So this is group conduct. And this is the practicing of what are the criminal elements of monitoring amongst what is the demon possessed. And so this is what is documentation of terrorism as it is underway by a public entity in concert with the people of the state who are in the shoes of the government as this criminal system is in ceaseless operation. And as the state engages in this demented group conduct, this is revealing how the public entity, that is the state of California, that is in the United States of America, how terrorism of an American citizen plays out, what that looks like, how that is facilitated amongst a people, amongst a government, how it is public corruption in plain sight, and not only that, how you formulate policy and how you prosecute that which is demonic conduct, it's demonic activity, but that which is in no way impervious to prosecution in federal court, and being subject to ratification into federal policy. This is the P.O.C. All right, it is 8:43 a.m. on Tuesday, December 21st, 2021, and I just took an image of what is the state's ongoing tactic of stalking with light while it's covering up its fake sun that remains over me in the sky. As I've shown you, while the state is showing what is a subdued fake sun, albeit a fake sun, it remains a fake sun that is identified by what is central presence over my head. And this is what the state is doing today. And stalking with light is City of Ontario, using the dumpster truck at Starbucks at 507 North Euclid, and stalking with activity, meaning this is a demon that is driving a dumpster truck that is stalking with activity using that dumpster truck. In the same way, these are demons that use the buses. Incredible methods of engaging in demonic activity and being a stalker. This is nonetheless the system in operation, and they are demons that engage in identical behavioral pattern. So you're looking at a demon with different circumstances engaging in the same demented activity. And you have what is stalking with light. That's at the venue of Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue. City of Ontario drives by with a dumpster truck. This is flashing light, and does so pursuant to my most abrupt movement in the car. Okay, and then it's followed by crossing path with another method of stalking with light, flashing light on a trailer, okay? A tractor trailer, just driving through the parking lot, in relevant position to where I am in the drive-through of that Starbucks. This is P.O.C. and Starbucks engaging in P.O.C. with regard to maintaining that light activity. Yesterday, all right, you have what is the maintenance of the same light. You had a vehicle in the parking lot adjacent to the drive-through, and it was maintenance of what was light activity. It's referred to as peculiarized light. This is what demons stalk with. And pursuant to that same stalking with light, this is demonic, just as like the demon that was driving the U.S.P.S. vehicle at 10:15 last night, stalking me in the middle of the night while the state was flying over me by helicopter. That demon was stalking with light using a flashlight, okay? Bright view. These are demons using a commercial vehicle, stalking with light right here where I'm at inside of the B&G Plaza. All right, bright view, license plate 46303L2. While you hear the state amplifying plane engines, just like you hear the state amplifying helicopter activity in the demon that was in a USPS vehicle, not wearing any USPS uniform, and also not engaging in any work for any open United States Postal Service office at 10:15 p.m. It's the same P.O.C. Again, that's 46303L2, stalking with light in relevant position. Bright view is a commercial actor. That is the same exact pattern of conduct, and it's stalking with light from venue to venue. All right, and it is also facilitation. And I also want to be clear, what you hear right now, that's plane engines. That sounds at a very precise moment as I say the demon's commercial identity, Brightview. But not only that, you have what is the state making U-turns over the venue of the B&G Plaza. That is also revealing what it's targeting by the state, where it's targeting its location, where it's targeting audible activity, where it's targeting light. That's what the demons are doing with these commercial actors and the people, as I am identifying it. And this is exactly what the state did over the Starbucks, made a U-turn over the Starbucks building. That Starbucks is on Euclid Avenue. It's at 507 North Euclid at the intersection of E Street. I documented them heavily, okay? They engaged in criminal summoning, and that is documentation that exists, and I'm going to prosecute them for that. You have what is the entity engaging in maintenance of the state's fake sun in front of that Starbucks on Euclid Avenue. Recall all of that. It followed me from every direction, from the museum while I was sleeping there, and from the vehicle while I was coming from G Street. The state followed with its fake sun from both directions. Recall that documentation. And the state kept its fake sun over that Starbucks for the duration of the day. That is the exact same pattern of conduct, okay? While I was not at the library all day, all right? While I was not at the Fontana Lewis Library all day, not at the Upland Public Library all day, where I would go to that Starbucks and sit there, and you're talking about what is hostility to documentation and engaging in what is that demonic behavioral pattern of which is going toward prosecution. You engage in criminal summoning, you engage in kidnapping. These are all the grounds of what is federal prison. The government is monitoring, and then the government thinks that it can just take your liberty because you're going to enforce your rights, and I don't think so. Everybody will go to federal prison, all right? That's going to be the policy. That's like a no-nonsense. That's literally strict liability type of policy. That's how that's going, because this is, and as you witnessed last night on my podcast, that is what is wrong with this entity deliberately choosing to fly over me again by helicopter as they listen to what is inevitable. They're going to federal prison, okay? There is no concealing of the government's identity. Guess what? Whatever demons are flying those helicopters, that's not going to remain a mystery. And those government actors, they're going to federal prison. License plate 8SYW156, demons that are stalking in the B&G Plaza, okay? And so you have what is the same exact pattern of conduct. Brightview goes across the street at third-party facilitating venue Metro 102, stalking with light. All right, they are monitoring together. It's group conduct. And the state making a U-turn, like I was stating, over the Starbucks that I'm in the drive-thru of by airplane. And I also want to document third parties of Unicare. This is like a medical type of venue. There are a bunch of demons wearing scrubs walking from across the street, monitoring with City of Ontario, monitoring with Enterprise, who's group stalking in the parking lot of the Starbucks, while the state flies over, makes a U-turn over that Starbucks. Right? So I want to document all of that. These are methods of stalking with light. It's entirely demonic. It's exactly what I was reciting in real time while the state was flying over me by helicopter. And the demon that was given a United States Postal Service vehicle to engage in stalking me and terrorizing me, and which is speaking to what is the necessity of that policy that I advocate and what's in violation of existing federal law. You're talking about engaging in conduct which is inherently intended to not only intimidate, to create fear for your life, because this is the government stalking in helicopters and doing so with the United States Postal Service. And that's the identity. Understand, that is a random demon. They were, that was not a United States employee, a United States Postal Service employee. That's the government providing an instrumentality to a demon-possessed group stalker or third party who was stalking in the middle of the night with the state that's flying over me by helicopter. There's no mail delivery either at 10:15 at night. It does not matter that it is Christmas season, all right? And it is the P.O.C. Christmas season is no form. I showed you the directed light, 3 shadows in front of me. And that demon showing the psychopath that she is, stalking with a flashlight. You're literally witnessing Satan as I'm reciting what that psychopath was doing. She was running around the properties that then she acts like she's delivering mail to in the middle of the night. She was running around with a flashlight. That's demonic. That's a demon that I was speaking to. That same demonic possession is underway in operation via Brightview, City of Ontario, using city municipality vehicles, using construction tractor vehicles, stalking with light, driving commercial airline planes and helicopters, stalking myself, and listening also to the ways in which I'm going to prosecute them and how their ongoing demented conduct is establishing the necessity of that policy. Not that I need it, okay? But not only have I shown you, this is how you're going to treat animals, because this is what they are. This is not humankind. You're dealing with another creature, which is that which has not been expounded upon and not in any way that is relevant to what is everyday life. Demonic activity is a part of everyday life where the government is monitoring you, and it's a satanic monitoring targeting system. This is part of everyday life. All right. And so this is speaking to what is relevant to any everyday person, not some weird expository conduct on the Discovery Channel. I mean, no shade to the Discovery Channel, but I just mean this isn't some weird esoteric in-depth analysis about studying Satanism. That's not what you need to know. You need to know that, first of all, this is rooted in what is demonic. You're not dealing with ordinary people. You're not dealing with normal people. You're dealing with those who are creatures in the spirit. They're demon-possessed and they are psychopaths, all right, that think that they can conceal it, and it's not concealed anymore. By virtue of engagement in the criminal elements, you are revealing what is your condition, and your condition is one that is posing a threat to the life of American citizens, while you are also posing the threat to that life, equally terrorizing, while you're stalking as a group, as the people, and on behalf of a government. All right? This is layers and layers of understanding what is terrorism by what are demon-possessed actors. All right, so it is currently 8:52 a.m. and I just want to document that. It is, again, Tuesday, December 21st, the state engaging in making U-turns, targeting its conduct in planes over me, targeting what is light activity via the people, engaging in engaging in that conduct as a group. They're stalking with light, they're stalking, engaging in surveillance, just like I showed you yesterday under the fake sun, and that demon ran out of ultra personnel and then just starts moving out of the parking spot, reversing toward me, and directed light is moving all across the top of the... These are psychopaths. They're not doing anything but watching and listening to me. And in the same way as that entity decided to fly over and engage in that act of terrorism that I documented on podcast and on video by flying over and stalking via helicopter, that's an act of terrorism. And you have what is the state engaging in doing so, which will be attributed to the United States Postal Service. They are not victims. They're that was the provision of a United States Postal Service vehicle that lacks a license plate. This is also speaking to what is knowledge of being documented for what is entirely demented conduct. And then that conduct of that demon walking around, this is not ordinary conduct, it's engagement in the elements. And that's why that demon-possessed actor walking around in the middle of the night with that flashlight, that's terrorism. Because this is what the people are doing. They're stalking with light. It's the criminalization of everything that these demented stalkers are doing. And doing it also while the state is flying over by helicopter. All right, but even if it wasn't occurring in concert with the helicopter activity, which is literally them telling on each other, and this is how you're understanding group conduct, everything that they're doing, it's in concert with each other. These are psychopaths. All right, they are creatures. All right, they're animals, and that's exactly how you're going to treat them. All right, we're in the United States, sure. Let Satan get their day in court. You don't have any legally relevant argument. There is no forum. This is what I've shown you the government is engaging in, and there is literally a no-nonsense policy because the government has no business whatsoever stalking and monitoring American citizens. And that's exactly how that policy is created in order to treat them. Because this is the creatures of the government that have no business in that position. The creatures that are the people of the state, not normal people, demon-possessed ones. All right? Albeit in the United States, so you let that creature sit in, have their day in court. Okay, whatever you're dealing with, the liar, you're dealing with a psychopath. Let that psychopath have their constitution, exercise their constitutional right, and get that prosecution, because that's exactly how it's going to end. There's no excuse for monitoring with the government. There is none. So anyway, it's 8:54 a.m. This is P.O.C. Just another note, I want to be specific with regard to my presence at Starbucks this morning. At around 8:33 a.m., between 8:31 and 8:33 a.m., you will see the two males. They're coming out of a white van that's belongs to Enterprise rental car, and they are on camera inside of that Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue walking in. They're doing so at the same time that the state is flying over, making a U-turn. No, actually not making a U-turn, making a sharp turn over the building of the Starbucks in relevant position to me where I am in the drive-thru. This is concerted activity while the demons inside of the venue that is the Unicare medical unit, I'll document them on my website. That is across the street. It's right where across the street from the Starbucks at E Street and Euclid, and they are patrolling in the parking lot as well. This is all P.O.C. They're patrolling on foot, and they're patrolling in the parking lot and through the drive-thru. On Euclid Avenue is monitoring as well. But I just want to be clear, this is at around 8:33 a.m. where that P.O.C., that episode of P.O.C. was underway. Just want to document that. It is currently 9:01 a.m. All right, that is McCarthy creating audible activity, and also stalking with audible activity is the Ontario Fire Department, as I published my podcast, and it's currently 9:32 a.m. that I published it. I also want to speak to what is the engagement by the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department stalking in the path on Hope Boulevard. They were driving east on Hope Boulevard. I want to document that. That's the state acting directly. The United States Postal Service patrolling on Hope Boulevard as well. And you have what is the state patrolling by a third-party group stalker, Bird Tech Waste Management, by Clean Street, crossing path as well, Vitco Foods crossing path, and Staples crossing path at the intersection of Euclid and Holt. It is currently, like I said, 9:32 a.m. and I'm at the 280 North Limit Apartments, where the entity is maintaining an ongoing course of audible activity. It's just demons that are surrounding, creating noise pursuant to what I do as I do it. That's demonic. And that those are methods of terrorism, while psychopaths are surrounding, focusing on you, and targeting audible activity, including plane activity, which the state concentrates where I am at. pursuant to the same demonic behavior of stalking with that is following, all right, occurring with simultaneity, mirroring my movements, my activity on a communication device. It is 9:33 a.m. and this is P.O.C. All right, it's currently 10:10 a.m. and inside of what is the state facilitating venue, that is the Ovid Family Community Library. That's what it's called. This is an establishment where criminal activity that is also inherently sexually violent and entirely demented is underway. This is nothing but a venue where the government is monitoring, and the government is a violent sex offender. And I just want to document the entity stalking in the bathroom while you have this venue is coded in directed light. I've shown you the light activity as I walk inside. I've shown you the light activity that the state ends inside of the venue. I have documented the state's amplification of audible activity. This is nothing but the P.O.C. And you have what is tracking my every minor move, maintaining real-time knowledge of what I'm doing in the private space as well. While demons, these are those of demon possession, you're remembering all of these aspects, while then that entity is then representing the government stalking in the bathroom. And so I just want to document that is sexual violence, which is also on the video cameras as you see a group stalker entering into the private space to stalk. I mean, that's literally Satan going into the bathroom to continue stalking activity in close proximity to where I am, with knowledge that I'm physically indisposed, genitalia exposed, engaging in a private activity, which the government is maintaining real-time knowledge of. And then you have what is the state that's entering inside of that private space. All right, it is ceaseless P.O.C., and I just want to document that sexual violence at around 10:05 a.m. where I do enter the venue, and I go straight to the restroom area, and this is where the entity is entering that private space. It is currently 10:12 a.m. That is P.O.C. All right, as I cite to you the time at 10:12 a.m., this is a demon-possessed stalker that is engaging in what is crossing a path. This is the demon-possessed stalker that is in the middle of the night jumping into a United States Postal Service vehicle, stalking in the path as well with a flashlight. What's the light activity in here? They're in directed light, crossing path with simultaneity to my operation of my phone. And this demon-possessed stalker is stalking in the path, crosses path with simultaneity to my uploading that podcast. As I cite the time. It's 10:12 a.m. and that is P.O.C. And then I press the screen and it starts uploading. A demon is stalking with activity. All right, so crossing path, and they're doing so in directed light, and they are loitering in relevant position. This is surveillance. They're all engaged in surveillance. You're talking about visibly crossing path. That's what group stalking is, all right? And I did take an image of that. They're acting with simultaneity. That's the demonic conduct. That is the terrorism while they're stalking and representing the state while doing so. That's what I took a picture of. This male with the in operation of their communication device, engaging in the P.O.C. on camera. That is acting on behalf of the government. They're acting as a group as well, and they're just demons that are engaging in an ongoing group conduct. So you're literally just exchanging faces, engaging in ongoing stalking and surveillance. And that's what I took a picture of. It's 10:14 a.m. And I just want to give context as to what is that P.O.C. and the significance of that. First of all, they're in relevant position, but this is the demonic behavioral pattern. And I'm drawing the comparison to that's exactly what the demon was doing last night. As I begin recording the audio of the state stalking via helicopter, you have what is a creeper that was already in close presence. That's a stalker, okay, waiting to cross path, and does so with a flashlight, a method of light activity. You have what is a demon-possessed stalker that is in directed light and crosses path with their communication device with simultaneity to my operation of the phone. And this is all that they are doing as a group, all right? This is ongoing terrorism. They're stalking in the path. They're pacing all around inside. They're stalking with audible activity. They're in directed light. This same demonic entity stalking in the bathroom, okay? That is the sex offender and the psychopath stalker. It's 10:14 a.m. P.O.C. Alrighty, I did capture images of what is the demonic pacing, and this stalker that's engaging in surveillance, engaging in what is terrorism, as I'm breaking down the demonic activity that is accomplishing monitoring in concert with the state and the people of the state. They're all monitoring. This is one actor within the ongoing, representing the entity, okay? And so he is pacing back and forth pursuant to what I'm doing on my phone. And so he is crossing path as he's then approaching me again, and he does so with simultaneity to my opening up a new app on my phone. This is operation of my communication device. This is operation of the internet, what I'm doing. And this is the moment when he is walking by again. And as I'm capturing what is crossing path, he has shadows on his left and on his right. This is in the directed light. Okay, this is stalking. And I took pictures of that. It's 10:16 a.m. Where I'm capturing those images. And it's currently 10:20 a.m. right now. I'm just breaking down what is the ongoing P.O.C. And this is all that these demons are doing. You can swap the face. It's the same demon possession. This is demonic activity underway, demon possession operating over a group. This group is identified as the people of the state, vicariously acting on behalf of the government. This is the state pacing all around you. These are demons pacing all around in what is a very specific environment, okay? It is currently 10:20 a.m. and that is P.O.C. All right, it is currently 2:45 p.m. I just want to document the ongoing demonic conduct by those. I did capture images of what is, first of all, surveillance. They're all stalking, okay? So I'm capturing images of what is also visible on surveillance camera at 2:46 p.m. And those are the demons that are maintaining close presence right here around the computer. I'm on computer number 14, and I'm facing what is... I'm facing south as I'm looking at the Business and Copy Center inside of the Ovid Family Community Library. And I just want to document, not only is this an act of terrorism, you have absolutely impossible light, and I've actually shown you this before, the exact image of it. The directed light that appears on the ceiling inside of Stater Brothers, like a long line of white directed light that is stationary. Actually, it wasn't stationary. You could see shadow movements. While the demons were entering into the grocery store, that light was dynamic. That's absolutely impossible light under any circumstances. But that same image of directed light appears on the ceiling right in front of me as I'm sitting at the computer, which I am also on surveillance cameras, and I'll even reference the cameras right now. This is ongoing documentation, and psychopaths are surrounding, stalking together, all of them paying close attention to me, and those are psychopaths that are acting like they're doing anything other than that. This is a breaking down and revealing of an entire secret society, an unspoken system, and it is comprised of what are absolute violent sex offenders and stalkers. And that is everybody that is on surveillance camera and inside of this entire venue. And that is why the state at 2:46 p.m. flashes a line of directed light, a long line of directed light right in front of me on the ceiling, with simultaneity, by the way, to my making a new movement. So as opposed to sitting stationary and staring at the computer screen, not that it matters at any point of time where that terrorizing act is occurring, but I'm letting you know, not only is this a pattern of conduct for federal group stalking and monitoring, federal group stalking and monitoring is the practicing of demonic activity. It is pursuant to the same exact demonic behavioral pattern, that is the creation of activity in the form of what is directed light, absolutely impossible light activity, in alignment to me with simultaneity to what I do. And that is the most minor movement while I'm sitting at a computer, and I'm specifically sitting at computer number 14. And I just want to document that. It is currently 2:48 p.m. and I did capture images of what are demons that are surrounding, and this is ongoing terrorism. And these same demons are the ones that go into the bathroom, representing the government, stalking in bathroom stalls. Okay? That's the P.O.C. Hand it to you. This group stalker affiliated with third-party facilitating venue Metro 102 is monitoring with the state, and the form is that she's using her car alarm. As I am walking down the street, I am seeing what is the same color as what is her lights as she's sounding her alarm. Well, not her alarm, but locking the doors, which creates blinking of the lights. And the state is creating directed light across the street next to the 3-star janitorial. That's called impossible light activity, and that's a demon that is stalking in the path, all right? It is 8XJW782. And this demon, if they want to come down, I'll read their license. Okay. They're just patrolling at the intersection, but I want to read her license plate, 8XJW782. That is an act of terrorism. All right. That is a method of stalking with activity, and literally the state's conduct of directed light tells on the people of the state. All right. But for that light that's appearing across the street, all right, you're talking about what is nonetheless light activity because you're understanding the elements, but you're talking about the ridiculousness of the directed light conduct, and that's why I'm documenting that demon. It's 6:25 p.m. P.O.C. Alrighty, you have a third party that is stalking me and honking at me like I'm in her way, and she's stalking and she's molesting. With directed light beside her car, license plate AWFZ684. That's assault with a deadly weapon by an entity. Okay, it is currently 6:27 p.m. and that group stalker goes in a third party facilitating venue Metro 102 as well. Monitoring with the demon that is aiming light. This is a demon 67989W1, crossing path 8SJG185. Honks her horn at me while she is stalking with audible activity. Okay. facility. Get a good pic, Satan. Thank you. I'm gonna prosecute you with that. 8PXE871. I took images of what is this demon who hops out of the vehicle as I'm capturing the picture of the group stalker engaging in assault with a deadly weapon. Understand, this group stalker in this commercial vehicle is engaged in that same assault with a deadly weapon. This is documentation of an entity. This license plate 67989W1 is stalking in the path with light. The moment that I walk past them, not only is this molestation with a lamp. Understand, that's what United States Postal Service was doing last night. That's a demon. While the helicopter was flying over, and this demon is pacing around the vehicle. And I'm also glad that he finds it entertaining. This Latino male, if he's not an American citizen, ship this demon out of the country. Representing the commercial actor, that is Agility Integration Corporation. While he is patrolling around that commercial vehicle, that is called light activity creation. And that demon that's stalking inside of that vehicle, he hops out promptly as I take the picture of the demon that's going inside of third-party facilitating venue, Metro 102 Apartments. So he goes to the back, he's opening up, he's got a large light lamp, that's light activity. He walks to the back, he walks to the front, he walks to the back, opening and closing doors. This is the demon that's pacing around and is stalking with light while doing so, and does it pursuant to the demonic behavioral pattern while I take a picture of what is the demon that is stalking with activity and then honking at me like I'm in her way and she's stalking. Okay, that's the psychopath that you're documenting. And I took pictures of what is this demon that's stalking with light. All right, and he also engaged in what is molestation of my body while he is stalking and monitoring with the state. This is agilityx.com. It says it's security and electrical specialist. Agility Integration Corporation, the phone number 888-242-4300. This is an overweight white male with a beard, salt and pepper hair, and this is a Latino male that's using the lamp while they are sitting in the vehicle with the headlights on, and then he's hopping out and walking around to both sides, opening and closing doors, opening and closing the trunk while he's holding a large lamp, okay? This is P.O.C, and I want to be clear, this demon engaging in what is terrorism and an entirely demented, monitoring and stalking as one, stalking with light and molesting with light, and that's exactly what you'll see in the images. I want to be clear, it's the same demonic activity that U.S.P.S. was engaging in, creeping outside of the car, running around with a flashlight, and engaging in that stalking with light activity. These are demons, okay? This is terrorism, and that's what I took pictures of. You'll see what is a demon with light. This is the centrality of that light with regard to this demonic system that I'm documenting, and that license 7ZTS493, they're monitoring together. And now he's just emptying stuff out of the Agility Integration Corporation. He's just emptying stuff out. He's creating light activity. That's what he's doing. License, I don't see any U.S. number on it. It just says agilityx.com, communications and electrical services specialist, excuse me. Again, that's 67989W1, and that is P.O.C. That is P.O.C. That is your everyday terrorist, your everyday demon-possessed stalker monitoring with the government, okay? These are psychopaths that are operating, working for companies, engaging in sexually violating as well, monitoring you while you're in the bathroom, while your panties are down, stalking you, stalking all around the bathroom. These are the common demon-possessed stalkers that are engaging in the P.O.C. And this particular one also finds it funny while I document him. That is being noted with regard to that prosecution and the prosecution of this company, okay? I want to be clear, it is currently 6:31 p.m. and they are engaging in what is ambush-like conduct together. As I walk to get this group stalker that is at the sidewalk with the headlights on, then you have the demon that gets out with the large lamp, pacing all around the vehicle, molesting my body while doing so, while they are together stalking outside in relevant position as I cross the street at Holt and Plum, okay? It is currently 6:32 p.m. and that is P.O.C. That demon is affiliated with, or at least he's getting off at, outside of that commercial vehicle, which is at Metro 102 Apartments, where also that other sex offender that honks at me while she's stalking and honking the horn like I'm in her way. She comes around stalking with activity to molest with light. It's the P.O.C. All right, and that is understanding the conduct of psychopaths. It is currently 6:32 p.m. That's P.O.C. 7674781. 8MBU 106, and all the demons inside of B&G Plaza, the demons that are flying, stalking in plane and helicopter, the demons that are sitting around in emergency vehicles and law enforcement vehicles, they're all monitoring to that. It's conduct by an entity, and that is documentation, again, that is assault with a deadly weapon by an entity. All right, these demons are not acting individually. They're acting on behalf of the government, and the government's going to be prosecuted for everything. The people of the state are going to be prosecuted for each criminal act that they are engaging in corporately. All right, you're talking about, yes, a gargantuous prosecution, an unprecedented one, and it is an unprecedented crime. All right, and with regard to the creation of legislation to deal with that, and with regard to what is federal prison, because the same entity likes to stalk in bathrooms, likes to stalk with helicopter, likes to do so via government actors like the United States Postal Service in the middle of the night, while they listen to the fact that you're documenting that and speaking to your intention to confront your stalker, that is the government, and then engages in that terrorism again. AEKX015, stalking on the opposite side of the street. All right, it is 8NGM103 at Andy's Burgers. Let me get them because they're all across the street monitoring to that molestation by the one that honks their horn, the molestation by the demon that's sitting in the van and immediately comes out with the light lamp while the headlights on the vehicle are on, pulling out a large light lamp. It's light activity, and that is a demon. You are looking at literally a neon sign saying Satan, because they're literally telling you what they are, what's wrong with them, what their condition is, as they engage in this conduct with light. 7R58404. And let me be clear, it is the same exact conduct with the law enforcement that I documented while this entity was kidnapping me. That is the exact same conduct that they would engage in while I was kidnapped. 8MDP380, 6YFK579. And you have what are demons that are in these uniforms. All right, engaging in the P.O.C. 94573K1. All of them are molesting while you hear that amplified audible activity. 5TCH678 hops into their vehicle to be in relevant position to stalk with light in the parking lot. They already know where I'm at, okay? That's P.O.C. And the state is aiming substantial light activity. 5THC678. That's a psychopath. Stalking and touching with light. License plate. It is currently 6:34 p.m. All right, you always have demons that are worthy. 54482W1 that are willing to go ahead and take those charges. 5XBX732, because that's exactly what they're engaging in. You're talking about what is an ongoing desperation to engage in that sexual violence, and that's what that demonstrates. And you have a wealth of demons that are just going for it. That's what that ongoing molestation is revealing. 7RZV568, 8UKX518, 8TPZ734. 8PJW667, 6YFK578, in case I didn't read that one. And that's a molestation. 6MRX782. And again, by molestation, what I mean, first of all, I'm walking in the parking lot and the state is aiming multiple layers of directed light. I have a shadow that is appearing upright in the air. All right, while the state is aiming directed light onto the trees, I can see my shadow upright on the trees that are on the sidewalk of the B&G Plaza. That's impossible light activity. While those demons who I said, they're tracking my steps, they know where I'm at, so they're coming out where they're stalking in the path. They get out of their car. This is what the demons do. They maintain circumstances whereby they can engage in what is supposed to outwardly look as though they're going about whatever it is they're doing, having nothing to do with me. They are positioned such that they are able to stalk with activity. So you are going into a facilitating venue, parking your car, and then you're making sure that you get to your car, or you are leaving in your car, or you're arriving in your car, or you're sitting in your car in the path, and you are engaging what is an ongoing sexual molestation. Your presence in the path while the state is aiming impossible light activity. You're touching with light while you're stalking, representing the government. All right, you're stalking with activity while the target individual is walking around or traveling around. That's how they are acting together, and they're demons that are stalking as one. 7RZV568 is the one that's loitering in relevant position, and like I already read their license plate, so they're just sitting in their cars while the rest of these demons and the state is aiming directed light on me, and they're touching as they're driving around. 8MDP380 coming from the drive-thru, monitoring with that ongoing molestation that I was already reciting. They're monitoring together while they're in the drive-thru. All right, license 8UKX518. They're on surveillance cameras. They're inside of Andy's Burgers monitoring while that molestation was ongoing across the street at Plum. All right, they've been monitoring the entire time, and now they're sitting in their cars still listening, psychopaths listening to what I'm saying, and stalking in the path, monitoring while the state is aiming directed light on me in the parking lot while these stalkers are touching with light. 8CHN264, 6CKM112, and it is currently 6:37 p.m. 79806R2, 8ABG443. Now understand what the documentation of an entity is. In the same way this entity is engaged in kidnapping, multiple acts of kidnapping, and every single last one of them are going to catch that charge. You're talking about Amazon Prime, you're talking about Southwest Airlines, Alaska Airlines, you name the third party, state actor, they're engaged in the P.O.C, they're kidnappers. 7ZZF810, and that's exactly what they're going to be prosecuted for. All right? That's exactly what their criminal record is going to represent and reflect. That's exactly what many are going to federal prison for as well, especially as they engage in criminal summoning directly, engaging in what is kidnapping in concert with the state. All right, facilitation, participation in that kidnapping in any way. That's speaking to the people of the state that were in prison, kidnapping, actively engaging in that kidnapping. And I told them when I was in jail, all those demons that were monitoring, that they're going to federal prison, and they are. Okay, who they are and what the facilities I was in and the people of the state that were all on camera while I was kidnapped in there, they're all monitoring together. They're going to federal prison. 7ZDZ684. They were demons engaging in the P.O.C, which is terrorism that I was subject to, and ongoing sexual violence while I was in those state facilitating venues. All right, you have another demon out here with the spotlight at the bus stop. This is so pathetic. Let me give you. All right, I love it how I point out something to you, I demonstrate something to you. Satan is that inferior creature that is engaging in an ongoing demonstration of that which I have already explained to you. All right, it is the P.O.C. And this is why, as I am walking from the library to the S.I.I.S liquor, you have what are demons engaging in ongoing use of, for example, spotlights and flashlights, just like the demon that was driving in United States Postal Service because nobody's delivering the mail from the United States by the United States Postal Service at 10:15, 10:30 at night. Not in directed light, and not while the state is stalking by helicopter. No, that's called P.O.C. And that was a demon. This is a demon here, aiming flashlight in relevant position, in directed light, with knowledge of the fact that I'm pointing that out. That's the psychopath, and that's the inferior one that I'm going to put in federal prison. And you're listening and witnessing and listening to me document the inferior one. As I point out the fact that they are demon possessed, they indeed demonstrate their demon possession, okay? 4JJS371, and that is the posture of the defeated and the inferior, by the way. That's the posture, that's the conduct that they engage in. They're following, and they're following me, and they're gonna follow my orders when I say go to federal prison. When I say catch that charge, that's what they're gonna follow. 7ZDZ684. All right, what you are witnessing is what is divine. This is spiritual realm material. With regard to legal analysis, with regard to the creation of federal policy, with regard to what is the criminal conduct that you may objectively witness and any other person may mimic with regard to documenting and enforcing your constitutional rights, that is what one ought to be concerned with. You don't need to. I'm giving you context though. This is literally hell in operation in the natural. And hell is inferior, okay? Hell loses, Satan is inferior, and this is operating rulership over the demons. 8VEB569. That's what this is. They're inferior. That's exactly what this is. Sitting in the darkness, waiting to touch. That's a predator. 5SQE129. All right, this is operating over what are an inferior bunch of minions who are awaiting judgment that has been decreed long before time. That's what this is. Now, with regard to any other ordinary, I'm not getting into preaching. I'm just letting you know this is for purposes of every other ordinary person that is subject to monitoring by a government, which is criminal conduct. All right, you are able to document and prosecute. BT48B78, but I am doing that. I am setting the example. I'm establishing precedent. And I am also, before the world's eyes, I am demonstrating what is ownership of that which is from the pit of hell. And demons are followers inherently. All right. And they are under my feet. And I'm going to exercise dominion. And I am going to exercise discretion as to how I handle them. License plate. AVYE320 21399C2. And that's exactly what you're witnessing. 78CM281, and that's why I've created policy. It's going to be enforced against them. That's a form of judgment in the natural. That's what you're witnessing. They're subject to judgment for this demonic conduct, this wicked activity that they're engaging in the natural. It's called demonic. It's called spiritual warfare. Satan loses that every time, by the way. It's 6:42 p.m. This is operation of a communication device and audible activity creation while in operation of a communication device, while demons are stalking with light and the state is aiming directed light. This is P.O.C. This is S.I.I.S. liquor.
199. Not too much.
You said 35. Here you go.
اتصلت يا بابا اتصلت يا طيب I just get back home انت اللي اتصلت خد الظرف حطه بايدك
Thank you.
واحكي معهم. Thank you. بيسألوك على الكود تبع
This is P.O.C. He's monitoring, and he's monitoring the entire time in relevant position as I walked here. Okay. This is operation of the communication device while I'm in the store, monitoring while doing so. It's 6:43 p.m. That is Shiro's Liquor engaging the P.O.C. by virtue of their operation of communication device, and the ongoing environment is present, and demons are surrounding. You're talking about literally an ongoing molestation by demons. I mean, you have a demon with a flashlight on the bus bench, a demon with the flashlight in the vehicle where they're stalking on Plum, okay? And I'm telling you about what was that demon that was stalking, representing the United States Postal Service. And I want to be clear, like I said, that is the pattern. When I point out their demonic activity, it is a concession by Satan itself, because the entity engages in more of it. It is literally an admission. And it's something, it's almost as though, it's not almost as though, it's something, if you can wrap your mind around, I have coined, I don't want to say coined because it's not like I made it up. I have identified it. I have articulated it. I have made it plain for anyone else to understand. All right. And as I am revealing that which is to be unspoken of, understand that I'm revealing that which is an unspoken reality, what is fully intended to be maintained as unknown, non-existent, okay, secretive, covert, concealed. I have blown that open. Understand the intentions of the demonic realm, okay? Satan itself would like for you to understand or think that Satan is not real. Satan is just negative thoughts. You are in, whatever it is that you have been deceived to believe about Satan, that's exactly what he wants you to think. Let me be clear. Satan is very real. Satan is operating over all of these psychopaths that I'm prosecuting altogether. This is demonic activity. And they're psychopaths in that regard. And you are also witnessing the conduct of a psychopath as I point out their conduct, because yes, indeed, that group stalker that was hanging out beside the car, inconspicuously stalking, and then stalked with activity, meaning arriving out of the blue immediately with a flashlight while the state's flying over with a helicopter, that was a demon. Okay. And as I point that out to you, 21399C2 was in the shadows of the monitoring as well. And as I point that out to you, understand that this is undesirable. This is undesirable. And with regard to the demonic character, the more that I point out what is no longer to be maintained as a secret, if you will, all right, I am putting Satan's business on Front Street, and then I'm going to prosecute it in a court of law and make every device well known. That's what is going on. That's what's going on. And to that end, Satan has no choice. Everything that Satan does and has done is used against him. Okay? Used against him. And I'm going to turn all of the minions against each other. By virtue of the fact of the prosecution, that's exactly what happens. It is the implosion of that entire system. It is the judgment of that entire wicked enterprise. All right? License plate 8NCW956. And I want to be clear what it is P.O.C. as they're stalking with light using flashlights, but the demonic mindset, the psychopath, all right, one who is on the one hand very, very, very furious about the fact that I'm revealing the secrets, all right, the fact that you need to know you're dealing with the demon possessed where the P.O.C. is underway, and second of all, this is how demons act. It doesn't matter what this person looks like. Don't be deceived. I'm giving you the whole rundown as to demonic activity. Understand that is very undesirable. But you have on the one hand fury at that, and on the other you have what is engaging in what is literally a concession as they are acting in conformity to that true nature. It is Satan's admission. You do not have any coincidental use of what is everybody being around me with a flashlight. That's not what that is. Obviously, and I've shown you where the pattern of conduct is underway and the government is monitoring, which it is. There is no such thing as coincidences. Coincidence, you need to understand that word, look it up, because coincidence doesn't exist where the government's monitoring. Coincidence does not exist. Chance does not exist. Okay? There is no activity, there's no conduct, there's no presence. Nothing you are seeing, nothing you are hearing is happening for any idle purpose. You are surrounded by an entity, first of all, that is inferior to you. If they're monitoring you, this pattern of conduct is underway, you're surrounded and being stalked by those who are inferior to you. They actually fear you while they are engaging in that which is intended to terrorize you. All right. But I want to be clear. I am one that is prosecuting this whole entity, and I'm making it plain for anyone else to be able to enforce their constitutional rights. That is snatching out of the spiritual realm that which is concealed, making it plain in the natural realm before anyone's eyes to see. And you can documentation is objective evidence. You're not relying on some spiritual argument that you're going to present before a judge. No, that's not how you prosecute. Okay, so I am making it plain and showing you. And also, this is relevant because as you document that, you're revealing what is conduct of psychopaths. You are further and further establishing what are dangerous psychopaths posing a threat. That's all relevant to the ways in which they're going to be prosecuted. These are kidnappers. These are thieves. These are sex offenders. These are very dangerous stalkers, highly demented. Okay, so as I am documenting, everybody wants to be around with a flashlight. Guess what? I'm going to prosecute them for that. I'm going to prosecute them. And the one that's stalking in helicopters, well, not the one, this is the entity that's stalking in helicopters. Like I said, that demon is not any mystery. They're not hiding from anyone. And they can listen to me say it again tonight. They're going to federal prison. Straight up. Okay, they are going to federal prison at 6:49 p.m. And that's why I just document Satan. Satan is an unstable creature. Satan is operating over people, and that is what is very serious about the threat posed by the entity. These are animals. Okay, they are unkept animals. They are psychopaths. They are both furious and, on the other hand, obsessed. Okay, there's a hatred, and then there is this consumption with me. You have seen both sides of that. All right, let's think back to what was May 2021. I'm at the museum. You have a demon. He's furious. Understand, this is demonic activity. This is hatred, okay? And let me be clear, it doesn't change with Tracy Banks. It's the same thing. This is called malice, what you're witnessing. And more, that shell, she doesn't have any form. I'm dealing with Satan, and I know that. And I'm dealing with it surgically, clinically, okay? But like I said, you're dealing with what is hatred. This is demonic activity, but at the same time, you have an obsession. That's what stalking is about. All right. And that is the psychopath. That is Satan. And that's an operation over a government. That's called terrorism. That's called terrorism. Where the government is that kind of psychopath and that obsessed, they are stalking where I'm sleeping. They are stalking in the bathroom. OK, they are stalking outside of the car where I'm at, flying over me at all hours of night in planes and helicopters. Like I have what threat am I posing? I'll tell you what threat I pose. OK, I am 5'4". I'm 5'5". Okay, 125 pounds. And the threat that I pose is one that you cannot see on my person. It's because I see through them. All right, if you understand what I mean, you're talking about a matter of discernment. The ability to discern that wicked influence is that which is speaking in and of it is inherently superior to the demons who surround, who all together at one time try to overpower and they can't. Okay, so you're talking about a P.O.C. that's intended to, and this is the conduct of Satan, the futility of Satan's devices. He is limited, and not only that, he's limited in time as well. And this is this is criminal activity of what is a desperate act by the government, monitoring American citizens, monitoring this one who's going to prosecute him for it. And I'm going to show you because the government is doing this all over the place. I'm seeing videos on YouTube, and this content. It's not even known what is being revealed by virtue of what you're looking at. And I've showed you in the P.O.C. You can look at content online and on the internet, and you are understanding. They are revealing to you what they will never tell you, what they will never admit. They're revealing it to you. You see it in the environment. They're monitoring in different states. They're monitoring. Okay, and I'm going to go into that a little later. I was looking into some things today. But anyway, like I said, that is P.O.C. That is a sex offender. This entire entity engaging in what is assault with a deadly weapon by entity. Ontario Police stalking, license plate 145. I can't really see that one. I want to say it was vehicle 1873, but I don't even want to guess. I couldn't see it. But it is currently 6:52 p.m. and that is the entity. They're going to federal prison. They're going to federal prison. They're out here stalking with the demons who are surrounding around me with light lamps and flashlights and molesting with directed light. All right. They're stalkers as well. And I've already shown that in my documentation. And so at 6:52 p.m., the entity engaging in stalking, that's crossing path in directed light, while that psychopath is also listening to the fact that I am documenting and otherwise aware of it. That is that demon's intent to terrorize while they are showing demon possession. These are different levels of of terrorism, as it is exercised by law enforcement. You're talking about disbanding that agency. You're talking about federal prison for engaging in a pattern of kidnapping. You were talking about ongoing federal stalking and criminal facilitation of that conduct. As I continue to document what is stalking by virtue of driving path is called crossing path. All right. This conspicuous stalking by law enforcement, this conspicuous stalking by the people of the state is an ongoing terrorizing threat. And where the P.O.C. is underway, it's the criminalization of all of that, because that is the very conduct itself while they're monitoring with communication devices. Ontario Police Department, let me be clear, engaging in assault with a deadly weapon. They're engaged in the ongoing P.O.C. And they are visibly engaging in crossing the path to communicate as much, by the way, while they're listening. okay? And listening to the fact, as I am pronouncing the reality, they're inferior creatures, they're wearing police uniforms, and I'm going to snatch them out of. That's why it's made known to me the fact that they're demons, because that's what's going to happen. And they're going to federal prison. Because that's going to set what is a template for what the government is engaging in, which is routinely stalking, monitoring, terrorizing, and taking the liberty of American citizens that it is monitoring who are not compliant to that. I'm not talking about these demons in the United States that are monitoring with the government of that same condition. I'm talking about the American citizens that the government is monitoring that don't know it and or are not compliant to it, are not a part of that. And that's the only ones that the government's going to be focused on trying to take your liberty, all right? Because you are not on Team Satan, in other words. It's 6:54 p.m. I'm currently at B&G Plaza, and that is documentation from Ovid Family Community Library, starting at what was Metro 102 Apartments and that sex offender. From that third-party facilitating venue, and you have what is, while she is locking her doors, which is a mere blinking of her lights on the car, not even her headlights, the little turn signal lights. And the light appears across the street on the opposite side of Lemon and Holt, where the three-star janitorial building is. That's called impossible light activity, and that is ongoing terrorism. And it is also the P.O.C. that reveals what is demon possession and what is a stalker. And you're talking about an ongoing molestation by sex offenders who are stalking you. That's what I just documented yet again, okay? This entire entity, all those commercial actors that I documented this morning, understand that P.O.C. doesn't stop. That they are stalking all the way to where they know that I'm sleeping. That's what I continue to document and make known. The entity that is obsessed with me, that is engaging in what is practicing demonic activity while they're monitoring in violation of Title 18, is stalking to the location where it is listening to me breathe, listening to me sleep, engaging in stalking, remaining all around that car that it knows where I'm located at, and stalking in all manner of incredible methods, including aiming this ongoing directed light that these sex offenders are molesting with. The state is aiming that into inside of a car. That's how obsessed they are, and that's the reality of the Ontario police who are stalking in the path right now, okay? That's the P.O.C. It's 6:55 p.m., and that demon that I took an image of that was stalking, aiming a flashlight on the bus bench, being a psychopath and a stalker, is sitting over here loitering in relevant position, monitoring with the Ontario Police Department as well, okay? It is currently 6:55 p.m., and that is P.O.C. Alrighty, it's 6:58 p.m. I took a picture of what the state is doing everywhere that I'm at, including at the car where this entity is stalking. That is remaining in the same way it does with light, remaining where I remain, following as I go. That's what the entity does with commercial airline planes and helicopter as well, and that's exactly what I took a picture of right now. The state is hovering. That's what you see as I take an image as I'm facing south at the B&G Plaza. And the state is engaged in ongoing molestation with directed light. You have what is the state hovering in a commercial airline plane, doing the exact same thing when I am in the vehicle at 630 North Fern, where the entity is specifically flying over that street, over that car, where the ongoing directed light remains. And you have what is the state flying over. That's what I took pictures of while the state is making essentially a U-turn. That is a demon that is pacing in the sky space and does so at 6:58 p.m. That's what I took a picture of. This is P.O.C. And like I said, I'm making my point. This is exactly what the entity is doing, which I've already shown. I've been documenting this for a series of years now. You have what is the entity engaging in stalking at Fern, where the entity follows to that location. This is ongoing documentation of the government engaged in ongoing stalking, which you are necessarily doing, by the way, when you're monitoring. All right. This is profound in that the government is not just first of all, the fact that the government is a stalker is profound. That's unprecedented. Second of all, you're talking about what is a demon-possessed entity, all right? And all the ways in which the entity is stalking, that is revealing that as well, okay? This is demonic at its core. At every flip and every single last one of the actors are demon-possessed as well, okay? And this is what the state is doing while it is stalking at 630 North Fern, all right? And doing so through commercial actors and doing so through the people of the state who are in facilitating venues in relevant position, who are stalking outside on the streets, remaining present 24 hours a day, all right, and maintaining presence in the path, and the state also engaging in what is patrolling via aircraft, which I have heavily documented as well. I just want to show that there is no difference, in other words, is what I'm sharing. There is no difference with regard to the pattern of conduct. The state is engaging in a continuous and consistently documented pattern of stalking, all right, while it is monitoring with communication devices and doing it with the demons who are demonstrating it themselves. I am telling you, I've documented it. And this is literally Satan just saying, yeah, it's me. She's right. That's literally what they're doing. It's a concession. While you have a bunch of demons arriving in the path with flashlights. That's That is, while they're in the environment, while the ongoing pattern of conduct of stalking, you have seen them. Let me put it this way. The demons during the day in directed light that's moving all across the asphalt, reaching all the way out to come and touch me, all right, like the sex offenders that they are. At nightfall, that's a demon manifesting light. You can look at it that way. It's the same conduct. It's demonic. It's stalking with light, which is what demons do. All right. It's currently 7:01 p.m. and this is P.O.C. 1234520. That's Omnitrans bus 1216. Monitoring with the state. Monitoring with third parties who are molesting altogether and stalking altogether. And again, that is Omnitrans engaging in what is assault with a deadly weapon by entity. Okay, that's the conduct of the entity. No, I cannot get away from me. It is currently 7:02 p.m. UPS crossing path. And that demon comes over here to talk to me while he is stalking, while the state is amplifying plane activity. All right, and this is also the same entity that's over here engaging in what is a terrorizing act of stalking with light, using a flashlight. This is the psychopath that knows that I'm documenting its methods, its demented methods of stalking. All right, and then engages in it while I'm walking outside. This is the P.O.C. of absolute psychopaths who are also desperate to touch and be everywhere that I'm at. And that is the prosecution of a sex offender that is a demented psychopath stalker. And this happens to be that which is the government, the state of California, and the people of the state of California. 7:03 p.m. P.O.C. Okay, the demons that are Amazon Prime, crossing path in directed light, while the demon over here is repeatedly using a flashlight. That's a demon hitting a surface with light. And the state is also hovering via aircraft, which I took another picture of at 7:05 p.m. Amazon Prime driving what is west on Hope Boulevard at 7:06 p.m. P.O.C. These are little underage minions using skateboards to create audible activity. I've shown you such demonic activity using underage children. Their shadows are moving in circles around them while they are using skateboards to create audible activity. They're in directed light. They're crossing path, creating audible activity in directed light. Those are demons. It's P.O.C. 7:07 p.m. The same. Audible activity, relevant positioning, crossing path. P.O.C. STRDA. That's a license plate. STRDA. It is currently 7:09 p.m. Looks like 8E610. I can't really see that one. You can scratch that. It's still 7:09. I just want to make a note. It's currently 7:10. I want to make a note. The state kept its fake sun over the 280 North Limit Apartments, over the library. As I remained inside of the library, it just engaged in shining its fake sun as I went inside of the library. The documentation already establishes that the state keeps its fake sun, as I have arrived as early as 7 o'clock in the morning. Sorry, not here, but well, yeah, both here, 7:30 in the morning at B&G Plaza, but at the Ovid Family Community Library, moving it to all sides, being over the parking lot side, which I would not be able to capture over the edge of that parking lot side. That's movement of the fake sun, being over the side where the that is facing the City Hall, facing the Senior Center, being over the front entrance area of the 280 North Limit Apartments, being over the back of the library, facing the University of Laverne College of Law, and being there as early as 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and remaining until the evening. All right, what the state is doing with its fake sun is keeping it where I am, engaging and placing it, which remains for the duration of the day, wherever it is that I remain. That is what the documentation already establishes. The state covering up its fake sun, and then it is shining once I'm inside of the venue. All right, that is knowledge of my documentation, and it is the same stalking with conduct with that which is not the sun. It's 7:11 p.m. I just want to point that out. 8VRM131. It's 7:15 p.m. Understand the use of Omnitrans. It is a means of crossing paths, driving in the on this little curb right here, which during the day is a molestation under the fake sun, which directed light is no form because that's not sunlight, but this is what the demons do: molest with directed light. And at nightfall, Omnitrans, this is the frequency of the bus arriving outside of its published schedule. This is a means of stalking with activity, as I am then publishing my podcast onto the internet. You have what is arriving at the bus stop, and then that demon using the bus as a means of stalking with audible activity, while the state is engaging in ongoing molestation with directed light as well. Okay, it's ongoing group conduct, sexually violent, entirely demented stalking activity by demons who are monitoring with communication devices. It's 7:21 p.m. B&G Plaza. That's P.O.C. All right, molesting. This is the license plate. Let's see. 7F PW092 8RTM 987 5GDJ 771 78949V2 8 U.S.V 490 8 VTD 213, I believe. It's 7:24 p.m. Can't really see that one. Let's get this demon license plate. 7X DT 527. This one coming out of B&G Plaza. Engaging in assault with a deadly weapon, terrorizing with law enforcement, stalking with commercial airline planes, 6NVW 690, crossing paths. It's one entity acting together, okay? The entity engaging in what is stalking in the bathroom today, the entity engaging in what is ongoing terrorizing threats while they're stalking with noise and engineered light, molesting the entire time. Directed light remains inside of all the venues where I go. Directed light remains outside. The state is stalking with all manner of incredible methods, which is airplanes and helicopters, law enforcement, and an entire people, the people of the state, okay? These are an abnormal people engaging in this terrorism together, all right? And that was again, I want to make sure I stress that. Everyone that I've already documented and that I continue to document engaged in assault with a deadly weapon by an entity, okay? That's what I documented, 7:25 p.m. 8 EKT 840. It's 7:32 p.m. 8 RKV 932. Again, that's 8 RKV 932. It's 7:33 p.m. 07810K2 8 TAZ 008 SOYPANA.
Oh, I gotta play the lottery today.
7KWE 9. 8XHW291. You can scratch that other one. 6NAU657. That one's 7KWE806. That's what it was. 64583D1. It's 7:36 p.m. 8LWS253. All right, it's 7:38 p.m. and we're currently at what is a third-party facilitating venue Sam's Liquor on Hope Boulevard. This is next to the Eagles Airy 2398, across from what is Lupita's Furniture. I've documented heavily the state keeping its fake sun over each of these venues, by the way, in conflict with what it does where I am now, where I'm not remaining in front of, for example, Lupita's Furniture, and the state was keeping its fake sun there, and the state is now keeping it over my head at the B&G Plaza, which is east of that location, and it is not relative with regard to the placement of any of the venues. It maintains central presence over my head and remains over those physical addresses. That's where we're at now, and the P.O.C. is Tracy Banks is in operation of her communication device. She is monitoring while the demons are patrolling on Hope Boulevard. This is one demon after another. It's light activity as they're moving in vehicles, and also directed light covers the ground, all right? This is the directed light, the abnormal light activity where you're showing multiple shadows and whatnot. She is systematically monitoring with the demons that are patrolling all around while she's sitting in the car next to me, okay? And so I'm reading the license plates while ongoing P.O.C. is underway, and you're understanding what is a demon. But first of all, it's entirely malicious, everything that Tracy Banks does. It's towing is crossing path, by the way. And you hear me engaging with her, and she's just acting totally oblivious, is in many ways disrespectful and harassing while she's monitoring me. This is the conduct of a psychopath who is also monitoring her own daughter. This is the reality of what she's engaging in. This is a demon, okay, that I'm also documenting. And let me be clear, like I said, there is no difference with regard to the hatred that is embodied with regard to demons. All right, you're talking about one that is, not even so persuasively covering it up. Her disdain, her malicious intent is on full display, actually. 3WTF739. But you're talking about what is formally under the guise of being a mother, right? I was monitored for years, engaging in stalking for years. That's the reality of what Tracy Banks was engaging in while the government is monitoring. And she is also a stalker in her own regard, engaging in stalking activity, while I was not realizing the fact that that was actually stalking, and they're not coincidences, and it is highly abnormal. But, you know, a normal person is not 7L and R377 is not suspecting that doesn't even come across your mind, okay? Until there are facts and circumstances that are suggesting peculiar conduct, and it is in your home. And then you're talking about ongoing conduct that I documented upon realizing that, and she revealed her own identity in that regard. And it's the same with the demons that I continue to document. It's 7:41 p.m. That's the state stalking by aircraft. This is Sam's Liquor on Hope Boulevard. The exact same conduct at B&G Plaza at 630 North Fern. 7TDN 106 is crossing path. The same exact pattern of conduct and the same exact directed light. All right, it's 7:42 p.m. And I took a picture at 7:43 p.m. You can see the little flashing light on the plane as it's hovering over Hope Boulevard, flying parallel to the street, flying over me, and amplifying plane activity. Okay, that's the exact same stalking conduct. It is indeed P.O.C. 7:43.
Just now? Oh my gosh, are we best friends?
Currently 7:49 p.m. at Benson Avenue and Hope Boulevard.
NyQuil Severe gives you powerful relief from your worst cold and flu symptoms, which changes a night like this into a night like this. That's better. NyQuil Severe.
6UGA 122.
That's what visitors at International Bird Rescue say when they learn we rely on
Let's see.
wildlife, the same dawn they use at home to wash dishes. Wildlife rescue workers have been using Dawn for decades, helping save more than 125.
The Country Inn Motel located at 5610 Holt Boulevard. They're stalking with light in that parking lot, aiming it toward the street as we cross path, and the state is aiming directed light all over the road also. The same thing that the state is doing with molesting me with light while they're driving east and west on Holt Boulevard. While they're driving straight, light is off of the road onto me, 7MOJ035. This is what the state is doing, covering surfaces with light. It's demonic. That's what the demons are doing, for example, with a flashlight, touching surfaces around with light. It's 7:50 p.m. STG Auto at Central and Holt Boulevard monitoring 8PCH 981. Using one of its vehicles, its large trucks, to create peculiarized light. That is the hazards on at the curb. I'm sorry, at the driveway entrance, 8NAJ 556 as we're crossing path.
This report is brought to you by BioNTech.
We're approaching Kingsley on Central Avenue.
Cloudy, high 61 at the beaches, 67 inland, and 53 for the low.
It's currently, by the way, 7:51 p.m. 7YGD 811.
Best time of the year. It may also be a great time to consider getting vaccinated.
83899J1.
Brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer. That's your Southern California
8DRK 555.
Search everything from Santa songs to Viva Navidad on the Odyssey app to listen now.
Passing Orchard Street and Central Avenue. 8YAC. Oh, I can't see the rest of them. At Benito and Central, 8AIC 196. 6MKE 960. Or 6NKE 960. Can't really say that. And the state is moving what is a fake moon in alignment with me as we're driving on Central. 8SIU 317 is keeping in perfect alignment, and it was the same thing while she was driving east on Holt Boulevard. 8PVC 343. 8TSA 792. 47718B1. 5RKD 987. I remember this is the same conduct where the state is then placing the fake moon over the car while we're at 630 North Front. Alrighty, this is the state's pattern. It is 6VSG 513. (56632G3). 7:54 p.m. You'll see an image of what is the state's fake moon that's in the sky in alignment with the windshield now that she's turned on to what is. This street is San Bernardino, I believe. Yeah, San Bernardino and Benson. It's 7:54 p.m. PRB026 at Mountain Avenue and San Bernardino. And I think that street turns into 7th Street, actually. Oh, no, we're approaching now J Street. I'm on Mountain Avenue now. 8LGV044, 8ETA629, 8CGZ844. This is just an entire entity just maintaining presence all around. License 7SIU097. This is the state all around, including driving the car. It's 7:56 p.m.
Some nachos or anything? No.
8KLT737, 8VEP954, 4XTA987. It's like 6N28236. It is currently 8:52 p.m. and I captured several things. First of all, the state following with its stalking with commercial airline planes. And this is what I'm documenting while you're listening to the audible activity on my podcast, and I'm taking still images of it while the state is, because I'm at the B&G Plaza, that is where the state is hovering in planes and doing so pursuant to what I'm doing both on my phone and as I engage in any sudden movements. They're literally demons engaging in the identical behavior pattern. Demons that are flying airplanes, stalking, okay? Being a creeper in an entire airplane. That's what the state of California is engaging in, and that is what is entirely wrong with the people of the state. Those are third parties acting with the government to monitor, engage in interstate stalking, and this is terrorism while that demonic system is underway. That's from the B&G Plaza as I started taking those pictures, and then I am in the vehicle, and I'm noting the state that was keeping its fake moon as she drives. I was picked up as I was documenting. I was at the B&G Plaza, so she picks me up. I'm referencing the third party Tracy Banks, okay? And if you're paying attention to my documentation, then you are already aware of this. So I am picked up from third party facilitating venue B&G Plaza, and she proceeds to drive east on Hope Boulevard. This is where the state's fake moon is in the windshield of the car. She's driving east. All right, she makes a U-turn on Hope Boulevard. I am reading license plates while I am being driven down Hope Boulevard. So we drive back down the opposite direction on Hope Boulevard. She wants to go to Taco Bell, which is on Mountain Avenue. She drives all the way around the perimeter. This is intentional. This is for purposes of what is monitoring. She is exposing me to the P.O.C. and she is monitoring with the entity. And that's what I documented while she stopped at Sam's Liquor, which is on Hope Boulevard. And I took another picture of what is the state hovering over that location on Hope Boulevard, where I'm at the Sam's Liquor. And you're understanding what is the state's pattern of conduct. It is that where the state is hovering where I am located, and you have a consistent conduct of what is hovering at low elevation, and the state's conduct is such that it's always acting like it's taking off where I'm at, okay? Even though there's no airport there, and that's not what's going on. You're hovering, you're creeping in a plane, and you are flying at low elevation over me, and the state is amplifying audible activity of the sound of a plane, which is also, it's artificial noise that the state is creating, because the state creates that same amplification, that same volume of what is audible activity in the ongoing engineered light. The state is stalking with light. So you're remembering this while the state is hovering over me everywhere in planes. And so you have what is the playing of a tape of a sound of a plane. And the reason why I describe it like that, because this is exactly what the state is doing. I mean, not with the tape, but I describe it in that manner so you can understand what the state is doing. It's stalking with an environment, because the state engages in creating that same volume and level of activity even when the planes are at a higher elevation, okay? It's the same thing with helicopter activity, and this is how I am observing, this is the engagement in elements, because it doesn't matter how low. First of all, you're stalking, you're not taking off from the airport, from the Ontario airport, because this is the implausible argument of demons who are witnessing my documentation, my prosecution of a government while I was publishing the documentation online. And it's the audible activity of ignoramuses who are identified as state and third-party actors who are monitoring, okay? And it is contrary to common sense. And so you have what is not taking off from the airport for, at this distance, the Ovid Family Community Library, the 280 North Limit Apartments, 630 North Fern Avenue, the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, the B&G Plaza, Sam's Liquor, Stater Brothers parking lots, Starbucks at 706 West Holt, Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue, the Upland Public Library, et cetera, et cetera. The buses that I am on where the state is flying over them in airplanes and helicopter as well. The state is engaging in following around, creeping in airplanes, stalking, just like the demon-possessed stalker that was driving a United States Postal Service vehicle. She was creeping in the darkness. And while the state engages in sounding helicopter activity, then this demon that's already just creeping, just loitering around the car with simultaneity to what I do, which is begin to record it on my podcast, then she immediately is seen. Okay, you were already there in order to arrive with that immediacy. And that's the ongoing pattern. You creepers, stalkers come out of nowhere. I've been documenting that for a long time because that's their pattern. They come out of nowhere as soon as I start using my phone. Okay, they're stalking with activity, and they are literally maintaining presence, and that is entirely stalker conduct, and it's absolutely demented. While you have they're demons that are doing that. These are demon possessed actors. They're third parties. They're acting with the government that's operating this targeting system. And so anyway, this is what the state is doing with airplanes. These are demons that are flying airplanes. They are creeping at low elevation, and then they engage in what is flying over with the creation of amplified audible activity as I engage in any conduct. And this is pursuant to what I'm doing on my phone, or what physical movement that I'm making, even what they are listening to me say. For example, this morning, as I say the demon-possessed commercial actor, that is Brightview, the state sounds plane activity. And then a plane is visibly seen flying over. That's not an ongoing coincidence. That's the state's pattern. And it is hovering over the B&G Plaza. That is not, the airport is not next door to the B&G Plaza, nor any of the other venues where the state is hovering and stalking in airplanes. The only venue that is close by, for example, is, where I've been at the San Bernardino County TAD office, the Transitional Assistance Department, the Human Services Department, in other words, the San Bernardino County building, where they're engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring. All the exact same elements in the conduct, the hallmarks of the state's fake sun, directed light, demons stalking with noise, impossible audible activity inside of the building, the state aiming directed light inside of the building, and then using what is the presence of an airport in the city as the forum for the exact same stalking with the audible activity of planes. All right. This is the government system, and there is no forum. And the very airport itself is a venue. I've shown you the fake sun over that venue. I've shown you the state moving its fake sun, keeping in alignment with me while I'm on the bus of the Omnitrans, in conflict with remaining present over the 280 North Limit Apartments while I stay in the city of Ontario at the Ovid Family Community Library, in conflict with remaining over the venue in Upland. Okay, those are just examples. In conflict with remaining over me at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, but this is nonetheless what the state is doing because it's stalking with light. And the Ontario Airport is nothing but a venue. Remember that as well. But let me be clear, you are not taking off from the airport flying at that low elevation as though you are engaging in ordinary flights. It is the same conduct of hovering where I am in airplanes, and pursuant to an ongoing demonic behavioral pattern of stalking with visible presence and audible activity. All right. And the state is hovering over this Sam's Liquor. And I took a picture of that. And so you have what is then maintaining the state's fake moon as she's driving west on Hope Boulevard. The state is advancing west of Hope Boulevard to keep in alignment, necessarily so. And then she drives what is north on Central Avenue. And that's when I'm mentioning the state's fake sun is moving north, remaining in the window of the vehicle. The exact same thing I'm showing you during the day. The state's fake sun is in real-time movement, keeping in alignment with me while I'm in motion, in transit. And this is what the state is doing with its fake moon. While we are then, at that point, going up Central, we're in the city of Montclair, no longer driving east and west on Hope Boulevard, and we're now driving north on Central. And then she, as I mentioned this on my podcast, and I'm mentioning the SRG Auto, engaging in P.O.C. at that intersection of Holt and Central, creating peculiarized light. You have what is then turning onto what I believe is Benito. And then the state's fake moon is no longer moving north of Central. It's remaining in the windshield of the vehicle as she's then driving what is east on Benito. And that's where I take a picture of what is the state's fake moon at the intersection of San Bernardino Avenue and Benito. I capture video of what is the group stalking, terrorizing conduct of the demon-possessed actors that are the Ontario Police Department, where she is driving on Mountain Avenue at this point. So she's driving south on Mountain Avenue, and the state's fake moon is remaining in alignment we're driving in this direction, and then she turns onto G Street, and she's driving east on G Street, and then we arrive at what is 630 North Fern, where the state's fake moon is stationary. And I've shown you the state's fake moon directly over the car. I've shown you the state's following with its fake moon from the city of Fontana to the city back to Ontario, from the city of Upland, remaining over me as I am traveling back to the city of Ontario, and over me while I'm in the city of Ontario, and not just in the city, wherever it is that I may be sleeping. If at the museum, the state's fake moon is over at the museum. Being right here as I'm capturing it while I'm at 630 North Fern, and I'm pointing my camera up to show you what is the alignment of this fake moon, that's not the same thing as being over the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. It's not even the same direction. I would be aiming my camera in a totally different opposite direction. This is stalking with items in the sky, because the actual moon or the actual sun is not that which is engaged and documented. I'm documenting this conduct by the state that is placing objects, keeping them in alignment with me over me. The actual sun is not doing that. It's not doing that with everyone else. Okay. In other words, and there's only one moon and one sun. The state is engaging in conduct, which is necessarily that which would remain in the, not only in the state, but in the city, and at the very location where I am located. That's not the sun and the moon. All right. And as she is driving all over the place and it's maintaining perfect alignment, it does not maintain what is relative location with regard to if that was actually the moon. Well, if that's the moon, that's, for example, over the senior center by the Ovid Family Community Library, then when she's driving to Central Avenue and Central and Holt Boulevard, it's not going to be remaining in the window as she's driving down, what is that, Central Avenue. This is the state moving that light source in an ongoing fashion. It does not maintain that central presence. I documented this, for example, even on foot before, where I would walk from Economy Inn at 231 South Euclid Avenue to the museum and back. And the state kept its fake moon right over my head as I engaged in that travel, and I documented that as well. This is the same kind of what the state is doing with its fake sun. And this is also the identity of, not only am I showing you what is stalking by the state and stalking by the people, I am showing you what is the environment that is also the proof of the very allegation of the state stalking by plane and helicopter, by the people of the state and by the government directly. This is that ongoing indication of that P.O.C. You need to understand the probative value of that as well. These are the ongoing hallmarks. An entire environment is maintained around you, speaking to what is the targeting conduct by those who are all around you, acting like they're not concerned with you, as though they don't know you, and they're demons that do know you. This is what the directed light reveals. This is what the fake sun and a fake moon reveals. This is what the conduct, as I'm documenting, directed light aiming inside of a car. You know I'm inside of the car, because that's impossible to coexist. And it also occurs with regard to my ongoing movements. Anything that I'm doing physically, if I begin to shake my water bottle, the state is flashing light inside of the car. Whether or not someone's driving or not, the state will stalk with activity. That is the ongoing signature. And that is demonic activity. That is the understanding of how the government is targeting you. Okay, it's not based on the lying audible activity of some demon that says, I don't know Erica Lorraine Spencer, I'm not stalking her, or whatever, fill in the blank with whoever the American citizen is that the government is monitoring. You're dealing with demons, you're dealing with psychopaths, and you are dealing with obsessive, violent sex offenders. Who go to very extreme measures while they're stalking you and wanting to touch you and follow you everywhere that you go. Okay, that's an extremely violent, life-threatening course of conduct that the people and the government are engaging in. And while the state is hovering now over Fern Avenue, that is not relative to flying over the 280 North Limit Apartments. That is not relative to flying over the Ontario Museum of History and Art, hovering over the B&G Plaza. This is a necessary migration north or south, east and west where I am. While that ongoing amplified audible activity is also speaking to the targeting focus of where I am, while you also have what is the fake moon that is right here over the sky space where I am at. That is the understanding and the analysis of everything that you are paying attention to, where the government is monitoring. All right. And so, like I said, that is video that I captured of the Ontario police engaging in group stalking. And I documented on my podcast, they were engaging in group stalking, crossing path at the B&G Plaza, where the state was doing the exact same thing, stalking via aircraft, stalking with directed light, demons around, using flashlights. Well, let me be clear, while they are driving by with headlights on, that is moving light. That's called light activity. That is a method of light activity in the entity. This is nothing but the state that's moving all around you. All right. And engaging in an ongoing sex offense in the entity engaged in tonight, what is assault with a deadly weapon, while they're stalking and monitoring, stalking with light. And then the psychopath honks the horn like I'm in their way. And this psychopath is stalking me. She's stalking with activity. She does so the moment that I step into the street to cross the street. She's engaging in the demonic behavioral pattern of stalking with activity. And then what is the psychopath's course of conduct? Acting as though I am in their way when they are in fact pursuing me. That is the psychopath. And a sex offender that's molesting. And she goes into what is Metro 1 and 2 apartments, and I documented that. Directed light, 9:06 p.m., crossing path on Fern Avenue. Light is not cycling around on moving across the roof of the car down where the floor panels are. That's what the state is doing with directed light while demons are driving by, listening to every word that I utter, especially about what is going to be the federal prison for what is going to be federal prison for those of the Ontario Police Department, which I have continuously put together what is the ongoing criminal conduct that the Ontario Police have been engaged in as the state act directly through that demon-possessed agency. And that video of stalking in the path is a terrorizing act by that agency engaged in a long pattern of kidnapping in concert with the people of the state. And so it's 9:07 p.m. and that is the fake moon that is over Fern Avenue. And this is the same Fern Avenue where the state during the day is placing the fake sun over the car. Okay. That is not the sun and the moon. That is the P.O.C. And that's not the coincidence where I am constantly documenting what is a sun over me and a moon over me, regardless of what zip code, regardless of location, regardless of how long I am remaining during the day. The state's keeping its fake sun at a single location, a single address, wherever it is that I am. All right. And covering it up during the beginning of the day, just waiting for me to go inside of the building in order to avoid more video documentation. I've already established the state is stalking with a fake sun. All right. I'm showing you what is a psychopath, and I'm showing you how you're going to treat animals, because that's what the demon possessed are. They're animals. All right. They are animals nonetheless in the United States that have a constitutional right. So you let that animal have their day in court. But like I said, there is no legal argument and there is no avoiding that federal prosecution for understanding what is now revealed. The government's monitoring American citizens, and demonic activity is directly relevant because this is what the government is doing. And so it's understanding what is demonic activity. It's stalking you with an environment. It's stalking you in all incredible manners with light. All right. Stalking you literally with noise while you're constantly coated and molested with light. And stalking with what is the animals themselves, the pack of demons who are identified as the government and the people of the state, a demon-possessed entity that's targeting American citizens. It's currently 9:08 p.m. And like I said, the state stalking to this location where it very well knows where I'm sleeping. And that's why the fake moon is over me at the street. That's why the state is hovering over the street in airplanes and amplifying the sound of that, including any other method, which is the directed light, which the entity that is stalking is aiming inside of the car. Okay. It's 9:09 p.m. and that is P.O.C. This is another plan at 9:11 p.m. as I am uploading the video to my Google Drive. Directed light in the car. Let me read you this demon's license plate. That is license plate 65427F2. And directed light is moving inside of the car before they're even approaching. Not that, let me be clear, the windows are covered up, the windshield is covered up. Directed light is that which is moving inside across the roof of the car on the inside, across my person, all across the dashboard where all of this is covered up. They're stalking in the path while the state is aiming directed light inside of the car. And so I just want to be clear. That's the ongoing concerted activity while the state is hovering in a plane, while I am uploading video to the Google Drive, knowing exactly what I'm doing on my phone, knowing exactly what I'm doing in the car. Obviously, that's also indicated by virtue of directed light. It is 9:12 p.m. and the entity listening to me record my podcast, and then I begin to upload it onto the internet, and another plane flies over, and that's what I wanted to record. And then as I record that, you have what is the state moving directed light all inside of the car while a demon is driving forward on the street. So that's why I got out to get that license plate. That is not headlights. And I've already established this. This is the P.O.C. You've seen the direct light, and that's what the state is aiming inside of the car. But I spell it out because it's so ridiculous what the state does with directed light, and I just want to be clear because you're talking about what is prosecution for what is terrorism, and understanding what is the conduct of absolute, demented, dangerous psychopaths. And those dangerous psychopaths, as I identify them and reveal their condition and the criminal conduct that they are engaging in, that they have been engaged in for a series of years as a violent sex offender as well, and all the ways in which that's going to permeate into their lives while after they are prosecuted. by engaging in criminal conduct with the government. So it's directly relevant as I'm documenting that the tactics of the entity. It's 9:13 p.m. and that's P.O.C. Helicopter. Under the fake mode and indirected light, the state is aiming flashing light inside of the car. It is 9:17 p.m. That is P.O.C. 8 NAW 854. That's helicopter activity while they're monitoring what I'm uploading onto the internet. That's P.O.C. That's another plane flying over Fern. Seconds later, 9:18 p.m. The same flashing directed light. This is the maintenance of an environment, and this is the government demons that are using aircrafts to stalk and monitor, engage in terrorism as well. That's P.O.C.